activity.
Can you able to see the PPT screen? Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, shall we start the class?
Yes, ma'am.
The screen is visible to you.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, 1 minute. It's changing in the desktop, but it's not changing in the mobile standing. Yes, our next topic is Unit 5, Quality Standards. So in this fifth module, what are the topics we are going to discuss means the first topic is quality standards. Then we will discuss basic concepts of ISO 9000 and 9001. Then CMM, Six Sigma concepts, development of CMM, CMM following the KPAs, key performance assessment aspects. Then requirements management, RM, and software project tracking and oversighting, SPTO. So these are the topics the most widely used, or we can say the best practices which are followed by many of the organizations to maintain the quality standard. So these are latest or innovative methods which are often used based on the traditional concepts and theories, principles. And the next topic is software configuration management, SCM. What is software configuration and how it is managed? And organization process definition, OPD concepts, software product engineering, SPE, and peer reviews. What is peer review and what is the role of peer review? What are the things we can expect from the peer review process? Then quantitative process management, QPM, then defect prevention and process change management. So these are almost all are individual concepts. If you know the basic fundamental idea about the software quality and software quality assurance aspects, each will have its own methodology, formula, principles, techniques, constraints, rules and regulations, advantages and disadvantages. These methods and concepts are used in different organizations based on their product and process and based on the level they are maintaining, based on the resources and other features of what we are having. So if you take the first concept, quality standards, then we will see the basic concepts of ISO 9000 and 9001, then CMM Six Sigma concepts. So if you take the quality standards in the software engineering, the quality standard is defined as the documents that provide requirements, specifications, guidelines, or characteristics that can be used consistently to ensure the materials, products, and processes and services are fit for their purpose. So the quality standards are based on, we need to follow a systematic approach and principles, methods, techniques that are predefined based on the assessment method what we are following. If you are following ISO standards, so the expected things are different. If you are following CMM standard or Six Sigma or IEEE standards, or if you are going for ISO 9000, 9001, based on the version what we are going to use, the concepts, tools, techniques, specifications, requirements, characteristics, materials, products, processes, and services will differ from one method, one standard to another standard. So the quality standards are based on the customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision making, relationship management. So these are the various concepts or parameters we need to consider while measuring the quality of software quality standards. Then if you take what is software quality standard means, say a software become a more critical component in systems, concerns about software quality increase. So the software should have be qualitative one, and it should be, its standard should be maintained. So we are going for quality standards. Consequently, a number of organizations have developed the quality standards that are specific to software or that can be applied to software. So depending upon the software what they are creating, they are following different standards. It's the software standards are specific to the software as well as based on the hardware, software, and other standards what they are following. When developing software for some large organizations, especially government organizations, consider using one of the following most recognized standards. So if you take any government organization, so in general, they are going for ISO standards. And several third-party resources contain more information about those standards. So there are so many third-party organizations. Say if you are in automobile sector, the automobile association will have its own quality standard. The same way if you are in software industry, the software industry follows ISO standard as well as IEEE standard, Six Sigma, Agile. So like that, we are depending upon the domain, depending upon the process what we are following, we are taking different standards. International Organization for Standardization is called ISO. So the ISO is an international standardization organization. It's having different versions or having the numbering like 9000, 9001, 9015, and 2015. So they are really giving some advanced versions based on the they are standardizing the standards itself by adding and deleting unnecessary features and expectations based on the because the ISO was established more than it was followed more than last 50 to 70 years. So they this improved the standard by adding and eliminating so many components. Many countries adopted those standards. In some cases, government agencies require compliances with this ISO standard. A third-party auditor generally certifies compliance. So yeah, the ISO third party will come and certify your product and process. The ISO 9000 family of standards is used widely within Europe and Asia. So most of the European-based automobile industry and Asian-based companies are following the ISO standard. It has not been widely adopted within the United States, although many companies and some government agencies are being to use it. So the ISO International Standard Organization was established, and it framed its standards and rules and regulations long back. But most of the European-based companies and Asian companies are for using the ISO standard, and it's not widely used in UK and US. The ISO 9000 is an introduction to the ISO family of standard. The first ISO is a family of standards. It's having 9000, 9001, 2015 like that. Depending upon the industry, they are giving some numbers depending upon the year and how long they are getting, whether they are getting the standardization for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So depending upon that, that numbering will differ. The ISO 9001 is a model for quality assurance in design, development, production, installation, and servicing. So mostly the design, automobile design, development, same product development organizations like Ashok Leyland, TVS, production and manufacturing sectors, installation and servicing sectors like L&T. They are mostly going for ISO. They are following the ISO processes in their organization so that they will be well known. They are generating their own brand. Its focuses on design and development makes it most appropriate standard for software products. So in industry, software industry also, we are going for ISO standards. If your product is ISO standardized, ISO certified, then it will the brand name will automatically increase and it will be reachable to the most of the people will come and purchase your software because it's having its own standard. If you take the international organization, because ISO 9000 family is designed to apply to any industry, it is somewhat difficult to apply for software development. So any manufacturing sector can make use of the ISO standard, but for implementing the ISO or getting the ISO in software industry is somewhat difficult. because it gives importance to this development process, implementation process, deployment, the instruments, products, employees. So everyone should follow some standard. It's having its own list of guidelines for each and every aspect. Say the infrastructure, facilities, services, medical facilities, people working in the organization, their quality, qualification, experience, everything should be counted in case of ISO standardization. ISO 9000.3 is a set of guidelines designed to explain how to apply ISO 9001 specifically to software development. So here the 9000.3 is specifically that particular guideline. The subsection provides the guidelines for software development standardization. ISO 9001 does not dedicate software development procedures. Instead, it requires documentation of development procedures and adherence to the standards you set. Conformance with ISO 9001 does not guarantee quality. So if you are going for 9001 and if you are certified 9001, it means they are following the standards, but it will not guarantee that once it is certified, it's a fully qualitative one. We can't give the guarantee and assurance. Instead, the idea behind 9001 is that companies that emphasize quality and follow documented practices produce higher quality products than companies that do not. So if they are getting the certification, it means that they are following the processes, guidelines, documentation, and other formalities, whatever mentioned by the ISO 9001. So we may expect some good quality with ISO products than the non-certified products. If you take the history of ISO standardization process, its initial version is 9000. It was then they improved the version to 9001, 2, 3, 4, and during 1987, the ISO 9000 was introduced. During 1994, they added some additional parameters. During 2000, 2008, and if you take 9004 was introduced during 2015. So what is ISO 9000 quality standards means? It describes quality assurance elements in the generic terms that can be applied to any business. So it gives the generalized guidelines for any business quality standards. It treats an enterprise as a network of interconnected processes. So if you are having a big organization, enterprise, so there is a lot of difference between a company, say they usually will say LLC. You might have come across so many keywords with a similar meaning. Say we'll say LLC. Usually in Dubai and all, they used to say LLC. So they will have some name, then they will say LLC. It's a limited. In India, we say limited company, private company, government sector, NGO company. So like that, we'll have company, factory, industry, organization, enterprise. So like that, we have so many terms. If you take it in management terms, company means a small setup where they will manufacture 1 or 2 products. Industry means it's also in one unit, single unit. It may be located in the headquarters. There they will manufacture more than one product. They will have a diversity in the product manufacturing process. And if you take company, industry, then we'll have the then we'll have a private company, means it's a registered private company with its own branding, and everything is copyright protected. Then we'll have the organization. Organization means people have branches, a number of, usually the organization term is used along with big manufacturing sectors, as well as where they have a number of branches within the country. And they will have a number of units. Say if you take Ashok Leyland, they have a number of units. In Ozur itself, they have 2 plants. In Chennai, they have another plant. And in many of the places throughout India, other states also, they have their own plant. In each plant, in some plant, they will manufacture only lorries. Some other plant they will manufacture trucks. Some other plant they will manufacture three-wheeler kind of things. So some places they will go for high HMV products, heavy machine vehicles. So they will have a number of products, different varieties, different brands, so many versions, and they will have units throughout the country. So all put together, it's called an organization. Say the same way, if you say enterprise means they will have branches throughout the world, and a number of people will be working. So it's based on the procedures, processes, and the resources what we are using. Based on that, we are getting the quality standard. It ensures quality planning, quality control, quality assurance, and quality improvement. So if you are getting the ISO 9000, it means that the products which are manufactured are based on during the planning itself, in the initial stage of product development itself, they are following some quality. And once the product is developed, after that, they are going for quality control. So QA, QC will be done. Then when it comes to the comes to the market or dealer, they are assuring the quality through the warranty, and they will give service and warranty as well as guarantee. And quality improvement means if they found any, get the feedback, they will improvise the product. Say they will have the different versions. Say initially will have Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11, Vista, HP. So like that, new features will be added into the product so that the product is in improvement process. So these are the things which are ensured by the ISO quality. If you take the ISO 9000 certification process, it's having, first we need to submit the application. Then that is the first stage. We will send an application to the ISO certifying organization. Then it will go for pre-assessment. They will come and visit your organization for assessment process. Then the third stage is document review and adequacy of audit. So they will check all the documents. They may expect last 3 years or last 5 years documents. You need to present all the documents, and it means that you are following the quality standards for the last 3 years or last 5 years. And they, based on the audit, they will give the compliance and audit report. Then once the audit report, if they found any faults or a deficiency, that need to be rectified, and the resubmission should be done. Then once the resubmission is okay, and if they are, they will come for re-audit, or they are satisfied with the documentation itself, with the proof and photos, they will give the certificate registration. They will give you the ISO 9000 certification. Registration will be done. The registration may be for over 3 years or 5 years, and then continued inspection. So if they are giving the certification for 3 years, after 3 years again they will come and check, and they will give the certification once again. So these are the steps we need to follow if you are going for ISO certification process for your software as well as for any product. So in ISO, what they are expecting from the product means, say what you do. So if you are saying some specification, these are my specifications for my software, those specifications should be implemented in your project. So this is the slogan for ISO 9001 during the year 1987. Then they made another slogan for ISO, say what you do and do what you say. So whatever you are saying, whatever specification you are stating, that should be implemented. And whatever you are implemented, that should be useful to the society. So that was the another slogan introduced during 1994. The third one is result orientation with an emphasis on leadership, leadership and risk assessment, adoption of plan to the framework. So this is the slogan introduced during 2015. So if you see ISO 9001, they will put the 9001 with 1987 or 1994, 2002, 2008. The slogan is continuous improvement of existing process. So whatever standard you are following, I say the efficiency is 80% this year. Next year it should come to 85%. Next year it should increase to 90%. So you should show on continuous progress in your process. And during 2015, result orientation and leadership and risk analysis. So these are the slogans proposed by ISO during different terms. So any doubt with respect to this particular slide?
No, ma'am.
So if you take the ISO 9000 quality standards for the software quality industry, the relevant standards are with respect to software industry. What are the standards which are more adaptable to software industry means the ISO 9001 quality systems. Say the particular standard gives you a model for quality assurance. It gives you a model for quality assurance, design, development, production, installation, and servicing. So during the design stage itself, we have to follow some standard. While developing coding time also, we have to follow the standards. And once it is completely assembled or it is ready to use, that time also it should have the quality. And while installing or the software, that time we should follow some standards. And once it is installed, deployed on the particular site, after 6 months or 1 year of usage, you should have the facility for service. This is a standard which describes the quality system used to support the development of product, which involves design. So the ISO 9001 quality systems, this particular subsection gives you a standardized method for quality assurance in design, development, production, and installation and servicing. The same way, the subsection ISO 9000.3 gives you the guidelines for application of ISO 9001 to development, supply, maintenance of the software. This is a specific document which interprets ISO 9001 for the software developer. The section 9000.3 also give you a clear guideline for development, supply, and maintenance. The same way 9004.2 gives you quality management and quality system elements. Part 2, this document provides guidelines for the service of software facilities such as user support. So what are the user support we will get from the how the users are getting benefited, user satisfaction, user friendliness, and feedback process, improving the considering the feedback and improvising the software product. So these are the divisions of ISO 9000, say the 9001, 9000.3, 9004.2. It's mainly deals with software quality systems, guidelines for application, quality management, and quality system elements. If you take the history of ISO 9001, so as we discussed, the ISO 9001 was introduced during 1987, the publication of ISO 9000 series of standards. It provides stated some number of standard guidelines. During 1994, a revision is made in the ISO 9001. So they added some and deleted some components. 20 classes. Each class will deal with each aspect. So the infrastructure one class, facilities another class, employees another class, employee services another class, leave rules, guidelines, employee say the PF, EF, and the medical facilities, family welfare. So like that, each and every class they added. So each subclass deals with each aspect of the standard, and 20 required for procedures. 3 auditable standards. So they have 3 types of standards: 9001, 9002, and 9003. All those revisions are made during 1994. If you take 2000, during the year 2000, another major revision was made. 80 classes and 6 required. So they introduced 8 classes. Out of 8, you should gain marks in 6 classes. Then only you can get the ISO 9001 certification. And process approach. So instead of a product approach, whatever process, everyday activity is counted for certification process. They will not consider only the end product. Each and every day in the organization, what are the processes we are following, and one auditable standard. So based on the audit, we will get the 9001 certification. And 2008 also they made another revision, major revision for word clarification. So they clarified each and every term in the various classes and standards. And 2015, another major revision was made in the ISO 9001. 10 classes for mainly they focused, and we should follow all the 10 classes. but it's not compulsory to gain more. We should follow. No, not all are compulsory. And the risk assessment was introduced. So whatever what we are doing, what are the risks associated with the particular process? So while developing the software, what are the risks? Say the technical risk, social risk, the political risk, so and other community-based risks. Say if you are developing a software that should not harm any society, that should not harm a particular person, that should not harm any particular community, and that should obey the rules and regulations of the country. So each country will have its own constitution. So it should not harm or it should not against anything. So the risk assessment was introduced, and the top management emphasized. The role of top management in every process is emphasized. So these are the major revisions added in ISO 9001. So this diagram also gives you the ISO 9001 2015. Even our Jain University also ISO 9001 2015 certified. And last year also we went for ISO auditing, and after that, so every year almost we will prepare the ISO documents. It's having a number of templates. So T1, T2, T3 like that. So based on the data what we are providing, and they will come for the audit, and they will give the certification. To take ISO 9001 main classes, PDCA. So this particularly deals with the software industry. Say ours is an education organization. For education organization, they will have their own, they will expect the infrastructure, faculty, students, and other labs, classrooms, tools, equipments, softwares, employees, non-teaching staff, everything they will count. But if it goes to software industry, they focus on plan. It discuss the planning is mentioned in the class 6 called as planning. Do the do is mentioned in class 2 support, and class 8 operation, and check it is mentioned in class 9 performance evaluation, and act is based on improvement. So the software industry ISO certification is based on plan, do, check, and act. The plan is mentioned in 6, do is mentioned in 7 and 8, check is mentioned in 9, and act is mentioned in 10. So next topic is quality standards, basic concepts of ISO 9000 and 9001. And the next topic is CMM Six Sigma. So any doubts so far? Next topic is CMM Six Sigma. So if you take a CMM, it is also a standardizing method. It's abbreviated as Capability Maturity Model. CMM is called Capability Maturity Model Integration. So the Software Engineering Institute, SCI, developed the Capability Maturity Model Integration, CMMI model for software quality. So if you want to measure the quality of a software, we can make use of the model, CMMI model. The CMMI model focuses on improving the maturity of the processes of an organization. So if you are following the CMMI model, then it will automatically improve the organization processes. Whereas ISO establishes only 2 levels of conformance, pass or fail, but the CMM appraises an organization and ranks it into one of the 5 categories. So here, if you are going for ISO certification, if the standards are followed in your organization, they will give the certification for the entire organization and products. If you are meeting the standards, whatever documents, processes they are asking, if you are providing, if you are following, you will get the certification. You may pass or fail in the ISO certification. But if you go for CMMI, here, if you get minimum marks, they will give a different levels. So if you are saying in NAC also, we are having a NAC with A grade, A plus grade, B grade, B plus grade, C grade with C plus plus grade. So we will have the grading system. If your more percentage is less than 60, you will get C grade, NAC C. If you are getting more than 80%, you will get B grade. If you are getting more than 90%, you will get A grade. More than 95, you will get A plus, A plus plus. So like that, the marking and grading was given in CMMI model. So in ISO only pass or fail, but here pass as well as the grading will be given. So from the pyramid structure, you can easily understand. In CMM model, we have 5 levels. So the level 1 is not performed, level 1 is performed informally, level 2 is planned and tracked, and level 3 is well defined, level 4 is quantitatively controlled, level 5 is continuously improving. So if you are getting level 0 means you are in the fail state. If you are getting the level 1 or level 2, okay, you gained some marks. And if you are getting level 3 and level 4, your organization is an world class organization. And if you are getting with level 5, waiting to see 1. So like that, they are giving the grading. So from this diagram also, you can easily understand the level 1 initial, level 2 is managed, level 3 is defined, level 4 is quantitatively managed. And if you are in level 5, you are an optimized one. So if you are in this particular borderline, it means you are in the risk, you will not get qualified. If you are getting more than this, you will get qualified as well as greater rank. In CMMI level, we are following 5 levels. Level 1 is initial level, level 2 is repeatable, so where the stable process for projects, number of stable processes will be stated. Level 3 is defined processes for organization. They will give the well-defined set of rules and regulations for organization. Level 4 is managed. So here you will measure the success of the process. So we will have a well-planned structure and we'll follow the rules and regulations and guidelines, everything. And the level 5, optimized one. So turn process based on measurements. So here we'll get the maximum marks and your processes are with the maximum grading. So in level 1 initial, the organization has few defined processes, quality and schedules are unrepeatable. So here the quality is very low. They will follow less standards and will have the less defined processes. If you take level 2, repeatable, the organization establishes policies based on software engineering techniques and provides projects that were successful. So here, if you are following all software engineering techniques in your product development, like agile process or extreme processing, or if you are following any object-oriented techniques, or if you are following hierarchical modeling, so based on the so you are following some systematic approach in the development process. They also track software cost, features, schedules, project standards are defined and followed. So they will check whether we are maintaining templates for costing, features, schedules, and project standards. Although the groups can deal with similar projects based on this experience. And level 3 is defined. The organization establishes a baseline set of policies for all projects. Groups are well trained and know how to customize this set of policies. So the various teams in your project will have well-defined norms and they are well trained. Each project has well-defined characteristics that make it possible to actually measure the progress. So if you are following a well-defined characteristics and standards and methods, definitely we can get if you are following the best practices, then we will get the best result. If you go for the level 4, if your organization is managed one, this organization sets quality goals for projects and processes and measures progress towards those goals. So we'll set our own goals to achieve the target. We'll travel through the goal. So accordingly, we will set the costing, timing, processes, equipments, everything. Everyone will be given some target. So they have to achieve the target within the given stipulated time. And if you take the level 5 optimizing, the organization emphasizes continuous process improvement. So they will focus this year if you are getting the profit of say 1 crore. Next year they may get the target as they have to gain the profit of 1.5. Next year 2 crores. So like that, they want to see the progress, continuous improvement. The organization evaluates the software engineering techniques it uses in different groups and applies them throughout the organization. So we have to follow the software engineering techniques and tools and methods in each and every aspect of your software engineering project development. The following illustration shows the 5 levels of CMMI and the processes necessary for advancement in the next level. So if you follow, initially you may be in, when you are starting in a company, initially you may be in level 1, then you have to proceed to level 2, level 3, level 4. So if you want maximum grading in CMMI technique, you should be in the level 5. And if you follow the software engineering techniques, best practices in each and every aspect of your project development life cycle, then only you can get, it will automatically increase your profit. It will reduce your cost. It will give maximum benefit to the employees. And automatically it improves the product software project development. So based on the CMMI model, the capability maturity model integration, the 5 process maturity levels are clearly stated. So we have process maturity and levels. So we have the levels as initial level, second one managed, third one defined, fourth one quantitative managed, fifth one managing. So in the first level, if you are in first level, what they are expecting now, processes are inconsistent, not organized, no reactive, and poorly managed. So if you are in first level, this will be, if you are not following any best practices, you are not doing anything in an organized way, and you are not maintaining or managing anything properly. If you are in second level, processes are focused on basic project management. So we'll, each and every process we are focusing on the project management techniques. In third level, processes are defined and focused on standardization. So initially we are in the poor state, then we are going to project management state, then we are reaching to standardization. Once you are following the best practices and project management techniques, then you will be in a confident position to go for standardization. If you take the qualitative managed fourth level, process measurement is based on organizational process. So the overall organization process must ensure the quality of your software. Performance and quantitative project management techniques are used. So the performance will be evaluated quantitative. So we have to measure how much we are spending, how much we are producing. Everything will measure in terms of quantity. If you go for the optimization level, process emphasizes continuous improvement. You should show some progress in each year, every 6 months or every 1 year. And we will set the short-term goal as well as long-term goal. The short-term goal will be next 3 months what we are going to do, next 6 months what we are going to do, or next 1 year what is our progress. But if you go for long-term plan, after 5 years, I want to be the top leader. I want to be the particular product should be used by a number of customers. Say initially your software is used by only a particular organization. Then your target is to make it to 10 organizations must use your software. Next level, 100 organizations throughout the country, throughout the world. So like that, you should show some progress in your process, organizational performance, and informal analysis should be done, and resolutions should be made to reach the target. So these are the 5 levels which are emphasized in CMMI model. The first 2 level focuses on process. The third and fourth one focuses on maturity, and fifth one is based on optimization. And if you take the levels and what is the focus of each level and what are the key performance areas we need to consider in CMMI model means, in initial level, it is competent people. So they will focus on the people. And here no key performance assessment. In the second level, repeatable, the project management techniques should be followed in your project. And here the software project planning, software configuration management places an important role. Based on these 2 things, we can manage, we can identify your project. And the third one is defined one. Here we will give focus to definition of processes. What are the processes we are following in our organization? How it is targeting, process definition, training program, and peer reviews. So the third level, this is well-defined processes, and the processes should, each process should be well-defined. Training should be given to for each and every process, and peer review process plays an important role. The fourth one is managed. Here, we focus on product and process quality. So whatever process we are following, it should be a qualitative one. And we'll give focus to the product also. Here, we'll give the quantitative process metrics. Here we'll measure the product measurement will be done and process measurement will be done. Whether the product what we are developing is is having all the high standards, and in processes what we are following, are we following the high standard process measurement techniques? Whether the processes are following the good quality, are we picking the best practices? Are we following the, say, if you go with the normal process, it may be easy for you to do it. But if you are fixing some high standard and to follow the high standard path, it is somewhat difficult. You may feel difficult initially. So each and in a managed level, the measurement should be done, whether the product is high quality product what we are manufacturing, and the processes, the steps we are following in our project development processes having the international standard or not. And if you take the fifth level, optimizing, so the optimal means, I think you might have studied in a software research methodology. So what is optimization? What is optimization? Per to CPM. Even in shortest path also, say if you're taking the traveling salesman problem or a shortest path digital algorithm, you might have studied. They are all come under optimization techniques. So it means that we'll have a number of solution. From the available n number of solution, we have to choose the best optimal solution which gives you the maximum benefit. Say we can travel from any one path to a source to destination in any path, but our aim is to travel in the shortest path so that the time and cost, energy will be saved. So the same way we'll have a number of solutions. From the available a number of solutions, we have to choose the best optimal, more efficient solution. So in the fifth level, we are focusing on the optimization. Here it focuses on defect prevention. If the number of defects are very less, your quality will automatically increase. And process change management. If something is not giving you the perfect result, you have to change the process as well as management activities. Then technology change management. So if you are using the low quality or less configured systems, there we cannot expect the efficiency. It will waste your time as well as energy. So it will take 5 minutes or 10 minutes to process something. But if you are doing some machine learning kind of projects, if you go with the GPUs, then only you can get the maximum. We will produce the result with less time. So the optimization focuses on continuous process management. To achieve that, we have to go for defect prevention, process change management, and technology change management concepts. So any doubt with respect to CMMI concepts? So far what we discussed. So initially we saw what is CMMI definition, the 5 levels of CMMI, and the 5 levels are categorized into low risk and high quality. And the 5 levels have its own predefined processes and activities. Each level is having and focusing on different aspects of progress. And if you categorize the 5 levels, initial, managed, defined, quantitatively managed, and optimizing, in each stage we are focusing on giving importance to different software development process activity. And if you compare the CMMI level, focus and keep process areas, each level focuses on different areas and different targets. Our next topic is CMM following KPAs. So as we discussed, CMM is Capability Maturity Model. It's developed by the Software Engineering Institute, SCI, in Carnegie Mellon University. It is a framework that describes the key elements of an effective software process. So it is a model, or it is a framework. Framework means it's having its own boundaries. So the process should be, CMMI model should be applied in a predefined environment. You cannot simply apply it to the entire city or entire So there is a boundary. So within the organization, we can apply. Within the project, we can apply. And the same way, high quality software organizations are different from low quality organizations because of the branding is based on the standardization process. CMMI tries to capture and describe those differences. It strives to create software development organizations that are mature or more mature than before applying CMM. So initially, if you're not applying CMMI model, we'll be following low standards and low processes. Once you apply this, your organization will work in a matured way. It will produce best results. It describes 5 levels of software process maturity. So here we have 5 levels of maturity, and it includes lots of detailed about each level. So in each level, what we have to follow, we will look for. So each level, what we have to follow, that is predefined. So as we discussed, the initial, we have initial level. Here we are not following any key performance assessments. Here no assessment methods. Simply we started doing the project development. And in the second level, the key performance assessment criteria are project planning should be focused. Configuration management plays an important role, say the software and hardware configuration, requirements management. So we have to identify the functional requirements and non-functional requirements, subcontract management. So the agreements and other contracts and software quality assurance techniques should be implemented. So all those things should be followed in the level 2, repeatable. If you take the defined one, here we give focus to the quality. So we'll go for peer reviews, intergroup cooperation, organization process definition, and organization process focus and training programs. So all those things places an important role in the defined level. If you take the 4th level, managed, here we give focus to the quality management, quantitative management. So these are the KPAs that are followed in each level. So we are talking about the KPAs now. Key performance assessment techniques. So the key performance assessment followed in CMMI are, these are the initial stage, no KPAs. Repeatable stage, we are focusing on planning, management, prior requirements, subcontract. In the defined level, we are giving importance to peer reviews, intergroup, organizational process focus, and training programs. In the optimization level, process change management, PCM, technology change management, and defect prevention. So these are the KPAs followed in optimizing level 5. So any doubt with respect to the KPAs of CMMI?
No, ma'am.
If you take the development of CMMI model, so the same way the history of ISO, the same way the CMMI model was introduced for software processes during 1993. And then in 1997, the draft T version 1.1 was released. And the version 2 was released during 1997, draft T, draft C. Then during 2000, version 1.02 was released. And then the version 1.1 released in 2002. Here the CMMI for development version 1.2 2016 was released. After 2002, during 2007, we have CMMI for acquisition version 1.2 and CMMI for services version 1.2. They released 2 versions, 2007 acquisition V1.2, services V1.2 versions are released. And during 1995, the version 1.1 was released. 1997, integrated product development, creating the software in pieces, then integrating the pieces into the complete project. So divide and conquer based, solving the problem with the small component within the atomic state, then integrating all the components and getting the complete system. So integrated product development, like component development model kind of documents are released. So this is the history and the various versions released for CMMI model. If you take the level 1 and the various the KPAs, the level 1, we give importance to the process and unpredictable, poorly controlled and reactive. The level 2, it's a managed one. So we can manage the software. Here, the processes are characterized for projects and is often reactive. In level 3, process characterized for the organization and is proactive. Projects trailer their processes from organization standards. So here we'll give importance to the process characterized. Level 4, process measured and controlled. So we can able to measure our process and we can able to manage. If any changes needed, now we can change it. Any defects are found, we can able to eliminate. In level 5, we are focusing purely on optimization. We expect the optimal result, maximum efficiency. So here focuses on process improvement. So we need to show improvement in each and every year. So here if you take the KPAs, so the same already discussed in so many slides. Initial stage, and repeat here the level 1, we are using the repeatable configuration management, quality assurance, subcontract management, project tracking and oversight, project planning, requirements management. So these are the topics we are discussing in this module. In the level 3 defined, here we give importance to the standards through peer reviews, coordination, product engineering, software management, training programs, training process definitions, organization process focus. In the level 4, software quality management, quantitative process management was given importance. The level 5, we give importance to the change management and technology change management and defect prevention techniques. So we were talking about CMMI KPAs. So what is KPA means? Key process areas. So which are the areas we need to focus so that we can improve our process. So if you take the definition of KPA, except for level 1, each maturity level is decomposed into several key process areas. So that indicates where an organization should focus to improve its software process. So any doubt with respect to key process areas? Okay. So you just go through I think I already uploaded this. Please go through the content. If you have any doubt, ask me in the next class. Okay. Naveen?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah.
I think we have a meeting by 12 o'clock because everyone left. After all, everyone left, I came to know there is a meeting. Okay. We'll discuss tomorrow. Okay.
Yes,
all the best. Shall I end the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
So we have a meeting, a department meeting, everyone left. Okay. You just go through the content. If you have any doubt, ask me in the next class.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all.